What's going on, guys? This is Steve with my tips, and today I just want to share with you an Instagram live I recently did with my man Cedric of Rendezvous Automation. We talked about how they're using automation to completely set up passive income opportunities using Airbnb. It's crazy, and I wanted to share this with everybody on the channel. So, you guys, make sure that you watch right after this transition.
Big Steve, what's going on, baby?
There he is.
What's up? What's up,
man?
Hey, I'm blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored, brother. Talk to me, man. How's
You
your
must
day
be
been?
feeling good. You got the Cartiers on inside. I want to be like you when I grow up. What's up, man?
Hey, not much, man. Just getting to it. Closing deals. We had about 100K day today. So I'm all smiles and stuff. So, God's been good, dog. So, just having a phenomenal start to the year. God's definitely showing up and showing out. Well, how about you, brother?
Man, same here. I can't complain, man. I've been a fan of, efficiency and automation. I've been preaching this stuff for the last couple of years, man. So to see other business types start utilizing this technology and these frameworks is beautiful, man. And especially people that look like us, that's a plus.
Right.
Starting to get it down, man. So I really just wanted to talk about briefly. Well, first I want to talk about just the importance of automation and why it can actually help you scale and actually build a portfolio. And we'll talk specifically like short-term rental, and I'll let you get into that. And then from my end, just talking about how now you can dabble in different industries by having something that doesn't require 40 extra additional hours of your week just to be involved in another business or just to have another investment. So I think this is something perfect that we can go over real quick. But I want to kind of let you give a rundown of Rendezvous automation, how it works, and then we'll get into it, man.
All right. So as far as Rendezvous automation goes, man, we created this concept because we wanted to give people not only their freedom back, but if you guys, hold on one second. Okay. But as most of you guys know, individuals that are in the working force, your 9-to-5ers, or even some entrepreneurs are a slave to trading their time for money. So it's crazy to think that sometimes people work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week on their business, but they're not living out their true purpose. Okay. And that is the reason why we created, this service and this opportunity. I've been in network marketing. We've been around the ringer. You've heard, individuals that are part of these companies and doing, pushing this product, pushing that product, without seeing tangible results. And that is the purpose of this Airbnb automation, because you're able to invest X amount of capital into these rental, arbitrage units. These things have an address. They're not picking up and going somewhere. You're not going to wake up tomorrow, your account gone. I know there's somebody listening to this right now. You've experienced that. I've experienced that, with my trading history and stuff. And like I said, it's something that's very tangible, a tangible cash flow, asset. And that's something that, me and my business partner, Lucas Longmire, have learned, after associating ourselves, with people that are making, millions and millions of dollars, every single month. And we noticed, these individuals have systems in place where they're creating cash flow through tangible assets, at the very end of the day, right? You probably know this, Steve. Some of the most wealthy individuals on this planet, right, have acquired their wealth through real estate, okay? So with that being said, that's just a little bit of rundown, a little bit of basics of what, we have going on. But yeah, man, automation is super, super fire, man.
So that's actually, man, like one of the things, like what you said was key. You went through it talking about not trading your time for money, right? And
Yeah.
so what, we get caught into, you have seasons, right? Like you have a grind season, you have a season where you have to put in work, but your goal should not be to work 18 hours a day for the next 5 to that's really no wealthy person's goal, right? They want the
Mm-hmm.
time freedom, and then they want also the financial freedom, right? To be able to say, you know what, I need to spend time here today, or you know what, I'm not going to do that today. I need to spend time with my family as something more important. And then knowing that I still have something in the background that's working for me. And one of the things that, some of my background was in affiliate marketing, where I really start to kind of get that feeling of, not having to exchange direct time for money. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened was, and it's so funny because at the time, I think a commission on a product was like maybe $75, right? So we did a
Wow.
review or whatever, right? And I was like, okay, it's $75. I put that review out, I did a little video, and I wasn't paying attention to it. I went to sleep. I woke up one day, and I got like a PayPal notification on $75. I'm saying, like, what's $75 for what? Who sent me $75? And then once I realized it was a commission, I said, wait a minute, I just got paid while I'm asleep? I said, oh, no, 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 no. Because
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
remember working for $11 an hour.
Uh-huh.
So just that concept on a small level was like, no, we need to build everything we do and build should be for the goal that at least have something coming in that I don't have to go spend my time on. That way I could just breathe a little bit and just be like, okay, cool. If I
Yeah.
lose my job, or, if business is bad, you got something, like you said, tangible that you can rely on. I got some cash flow coming in. Okay. And then if you're more aggressive, like bigger investors, being able to say, now I got, 18, 20 units, whatever, that whatever you're making on that one unit times 20, that's just cash flow coming in every month, right? And when we get really smart, and you
Mm-hmm.
correct me if I'm saying anything wrong here, we get really
No,
smart.
you're good. You're good.
We start fixing our credit. We start going to the bank
Sir.
and say, no, we're gonna use y'all money, and then we're gonna come back. That's when we start getting really educated. So that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
I think the ability to take, even just having, let's say, Airbnb, it's smart. But again, even if you can go get 2 other ones, if you're spending 10, 12 hours a week on one, how can you manage 15? How can you manage 20? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that automation becomes so key. And then you don't, even some delegation, but automate what you can automate. And then I like to say, delegate the rest.
Yeah, and with the Airbnb, business itself, people think it's just some cereal box, operation. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can get a property, and now I'm an Airbnb expert, and all this other stuff. Like, there's 9 different parts, moving within a rental arbitrage company that a lot of people don't take into consideration. Like, I literally just talked to a gentleman. He's been doing Airbnb for 3 years, and he's
Wow.
wanting to do this Airbnb automation opportunity because he's like, look, man, with 3 units, he's at like 3 or 4 units. He's running around every day,
Wow.
tending to these units, making sure the cleaners are there, making sure maintenance man, the plumber shows up, and all these various things. So he's being stretched out, and now it's turned into a full-time job. Versus him focusing on the reason why I'm about to go deep real quick, but
Go ahead.
he's not even focusing on who he is as a man and what purpose he's supposed to serve to his community, because he is simply trading his time, right, just to get that dollar and make sure his lights are on, make sure his bills are paid. You know what I'm saying? And that's super, super huge. And that's why the automation, like I said before, side of things is so important. And then also as well, man, when it comes to automation and systems and different things like that, like, ladies and gentlemen, you need that in place so you can take care of your family. And for the men that's listening to this, you need that to take care of your business. You know what I'm saying? Like just as a man, you know what I'm saying? As a man, if your family calls on you and they need something to get done, you should be able to have the funds. I don't care what your situation is or your excuse, right? Because me and Steve are on this call right now. We're opening the door. We're opening up the floodgates for everybody to be a part of something beautiful like this. You should be able to take care of and handle your business and write that check, because one day your why is going to call. You know, so just a little bit of background of something that just happened in my family. One of my great aunts, you know, her and her husband caught COVID, right?
Mm.
And they were literally sleeping inside their home for 3 to 4 weeks without any heat, without any hot water or water running. And guess what I was able to do? Not only by the blessing, right, you know, from God, but also as well, me taking action in automated systems, I was able to cut them a check for $3,000, get the water turned back on, get the electricity turned back on. They was able to have, hot water and different things like that. And now they do not have COVID anymore, you know, but they're in their late 60s. I could have took them out if I didn't have those
Yeah,
funds available, you know?
it
So,
is.
it gets deep, man.
No, for sure. And I like to say, like, what I've experienced, you can't really, this is my opinion, you can't really focus on your purpose until you can get your finances right. Because I've been
Ooh,
on both sides of the fence. You
yeah.
can't, like, if you're trying to figure out, again, been on this side, if you're trying to figure out how to pay a light bill, you cannot be focused on your purpose. You see what I'm saying? As a man,
100%, man.
because if you're any worth your weight in salt, your
Yeah.
priority is like, I gotta figure out how to get these growth. That's your first priority. And then you might say, well, you know what, some kids I could talk to, or you know what, I got some younger cousins, maybe I could put them in position. You can't do that until you can take care of your immediate responsibility. So that's why I say, even if it's one unit, and you have that asset in the back, now, like, and you mentioned something to me, we were talking a different time. This is also something you can pass on or hand off, right?
Yes, sir.
Here's a business you can hand off to somebody, or you can say, hey, you might have a family member and you get this thing rolling. You might purchase, they might come to you and say, hey, we need another unit. You hand that to, here you go, mom, this is your business. This should hold you. Not just your
Exactly.
retirement. This
Exactly.
gonna give you some cash flow just so you can live and be comfortable and have to worry about that anymore. So I 100% agree with that. You got to be able to take care of your business to really live in your purpose. So, and be able to help others. It ain't all about just earning the income, but being able to
Fact.
assist others. In emergency. Not just being a bank, but in emergency situations, it feels good to be able to do that.
100%. And to expand a little bit on what you just said about being able to pass your units and pass these entities down, to your family, this like I get so excited talking about this because this is what our
Mm-hmm.
community really needs, right? So, let's say you guys decide, to invest in 2 or 3, 4 or 5 different properties that's creating, $6,000, $8,000 a month in cash flow. With our opportunity, your lease for that unit is going to be a minimum of 3 years. That's in contract, black and white, no ifs, ands, or buts, no back and forth, no funny stuff, right? So you have 3 or 4 years of that cash flow, right? So let's
Mm-hmm.
say you go ahead, you're building out that cash flow, building out that system, you're extending the leases and various things. So you got, 10 years of history built up. Now, when it's time to put your kids through an educational system, whether it be college, whether it be a
Yep.
trade school or whatever, there's different opportunities that are now available. You know what I'm saying? You're not
Exactly.
struggling trying to figure out, what's my son going to do? What's my daughter's going to do? Well, actually, guess what? You can add them to that LLC or pass that LLC business down to them. And now they
Big
can go
game.
get funding for projects and things that they want to do and that they're passionate about.
That's major what you're saying right now, man. I hope people are catching it. But that's major what you're saying, because now you're talking about generational wealth, right? And you can do it, you can build it piece by piece. And so, if some people come up on, inheritances and they I don't know how to invest in it. Or even, some people want to go and say, I want to purchase a home and flip it. Or you're going to have a bigger upfront expense, and you're going to have more
Exactly.
time, and you got to get the right team in place. It's a lot involved in that. To flip it, you can do it, but it's a lot involved in that, right? And it usually going to take a lot of your personal time. So what if you, for, I don't know, 20% of that, could have something set up
Yeah.
within 3 or 4 months that, hey, look, I can see I got some cash flow coming in from this investment. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go, like you said, I can physically go there if I want to, and I can see this is mine. I can touch it.
Yeah.
But that's major, man, because,
Yeah.
and real quick too, if you all are on here, if you DM me the word Airbnb, I will get more information to you on this and make sure I connect you to Sid so he can give you the details. But I really just wanted to like talk about, like, this is not something I think that people know is even available, right? So I wanted to bring you on so you can explain that it's available. And then one of the things I wanted to also say is just emphasize how important it is to have something automated. So let's backtrack. If this is 1996, it doesn't. What we're talking about doesn't matter because the capability of technology doesn't exist for you to do it. So if this was, you know, our grandparents, great grandparents, even if they came up with the money, the capability to do it is not even there.
Exactly.
So now, if we can come up with an investment amount to invest, and now we have the technology, we have access to a team that can help. Why wouldn't you do it? You know, I know
100%.
people who furnish their houses and spend more than what this opportunity costs.
Yeah, yeah,
You
and
know
then
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and then you know, back to you know the real estate side of things. I mean, people take I hear this all the time. Well, I'm gonna just buy a unit and I'm gonna just Airbnb it out. Well, if you're taking out, you know, a mortgage, which you know you're familiar with, you know, people taking out for you know fix and flips and hard money and all these other things. Sometimes, you know, you're talking about years and years of time that you're not receiving any profit.
Right.
Any profit at all. Sometimes you're talking, if you're doing things traditionally, you're talking about 10, 15, 20 years until you actually see something, right?
Exactly.
And then also as well to, you know, to dig a little bit deeper, you know, the price, right, that you purchase that equity for, because you know, everybody's into net worth, you know, what's
Mm-hmm.
my net worth? How can I, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What if you buy a property for let's say 300,000, for example, and then
Uh-huh.
8 years later, that property is now only worth 150, 120. Now, was that real estate investment so smart? You have no cash flow, you're upside down on your equity, and now when you go to pass that down to somebody, I mean, it was a waste of time, and that's an example that a lot of people don't talk about, but I hear it all the time, especially when I was doing a little bit of wholesaling. We haven't talked about those stories yet, but you know,
Right.
I was wholesaling and stuff, and I would hear these crazy stories all the time, which made me, just think, okay, bet, how can I obtain real estate automated to where I'm not owning anything, but yet and still my net worth is still increasing every single year. All right, so yeah, man, that's
So,
yeah,
and an example I'll use too is, you know, there's a time where you have, I'll use cold calling, for example, right? For like on the
yeah,
agency side, you know, you can pull this, you can do cold calling business to business. And they say, okay, well, if you call enough businesses on a weekly basis, right, you'll get a response, and then you go and you can end up closing, right?
yeah,
And again, this method works, you know, 5-10 years ago, a little bit more effective. Now, two things happen. This is how fast things change. If you
yeah,
try cold calling now, first of all, you got to be a beast just to even
yeah,
get your offer out, to not get hung up on, because people put you on spam lists. They know how to put you on a do not call list. They know how to keep you from calling them with something they perceive as an offer. So for me, I would never, ever do that anymore. There's systems that will literally text you, email you, ask you, yes, yay or nay, do you want more information? Boom. And I could send, if I personally called, I probably could do 50 to 100 people a day if I just sat behind and just got on the phone. But we have
yeah.
systems that I could contact 1,000 people a day easy
This
and never touch the phone and get
yeah,
replies and get bookings. So that's what I
yeah,
mean about the technology and knowing being
hmm,
aware of what time we're in, and saying this play could have worked for your dad on the real estate side, the way he invested. Like my parents had some rental properties, small, but the way that they invested was probably the better way then. But if they were to go to
hmm,
do it now, it wouldn't be smart to do that because
exactly,
there are better options available. So I think just educating people and saying, hey, you know, you can do it this way now. You
hundred
know, like you
percent.
don't have to run on Windows 95. We got Windows 11 right. You
Yeah,
know,
100%, man. it's that ecosystem, that obsolete ecosystem. You got to make sure that, you know, the engine that's running your business, that's running your cash flow, that's, you know, basically orchestrating your life, you know, it's constantly updating. You know, it's so funny. We update these apps, we update, you know, our personal information for all these silly things and subscriptions and all that, but we fail a lot of times to update our cash flow and update our ecosystem that we're using to take care of ourselves and take care of our families. And that's what we're able to do, you know, with our automated, you know, automated systems, man. So yeah, that's super fire, man. It's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's just like books. Like I got so many books that I read, but then when I got wind of like Audible, it's like I have the books, bro, but like as fast as I can get through a book on Audible, I could drive somewhere and be 5 chapters in and be like, well, I'm through a book real quick that I wanted to check out. And again, that's just something, it's an option we have that other people didn't have back in the day. So it's all about understanding what's available and being efficient. Like I'm always looking about, I'm doing this is working, but is it efficient? Because people only look at they look at freedom like financially on 2 ways. Most of all, just financial freedom, right? But we could find some attorneys that, you know, they might make 7 figures, multiple 7 figures a year. They got to work 60, 80-hour weeks. And then we could find somebody else working comparable amount of time that have either been investors or they have an automated business that pays them consistently and they work 10 to 20 hours a week. So now you got that person time freedom, and the other person just has financial freedom. So they got time and money, and one person just has money. But what can you do with money with no time?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Because I was in the 9 to 5. Like, it don't matter. They can pay you, and then you got to go in there and say, I need 8 days, 7, 8 days out if I want to go overseas. Now I got to use 8 vacation days. You see what I'm saying? So the money is nothing without the time, bro.
A lot of times we get denied. I'm like, and you know, okay, so this man, this is funny, man. Because yeah, for real. Like I remember one time I was working at this place. I'm talking about I put 3 years hard work, coming in early, leaving late. Look, I'm not a manager, but I'm training people and doing managerial duties. Right. So, you know, I'm helping the entire business run smooth, like, you know, run smooth, playing my part and then some, you know, because that's what I was just taught and raised to do. And then I'm like, hey, can I get 2 days off? You know, my mother is sick, XYZ. They're like, nah, man, you know, we need you here at work. I'm like, man, after 3 years?
Right.
After three years? Come on now. Now I know somebody listening to this right now. This probably just happened to you. So tap in, man. It's crazy, dog.
That's 100%, because the thing about a title at a job, or I would say not all jobs, but a lot of jobs, is the title is just to justify what they're gonna pay you. I could call you assistant manager and give you store manager duties. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. If I don't want to pay you more than assistant manager, I'm gonna call you an assistant manager and I'm gonna make you do the work of a store manager. So that's kind of the game you play. Which again, if you have a job, that's still cool. But why not start looking at, let me develop some investments so I can plan like what I really want to do in the next 2 years, you know, or year, depending on it. So, but yeah, man, I wanted to bring you on real quick to go over this. Like, again, if you guys are interested in this, just DM me the word Airbnb. I'm going to make sure I get you some more information, connect you with Sid and his team so y'all can see exactly what they have going on. And we probably do one more, man, where I can have you kind of go a little bit more detail on the offer.
Yes, sir.
What you think about that?
Yeah, I would absolutely love it, man. I see we got some feedback going. You know, I saw, you know, people are liking and commenting and stuff. So you guys are loving the information, you know, and I want to be a blessing, you know, as much as I can to as many people as I can. And I want to say, you know, hats off to Big Steve. You know what I'm saying? I'm so honored, man, that you saw, you know, a younger guy, you know, just, you know, trying to make a difference in the world. And you're like, hey, you know what, man, he's going somewhere. I believe in what he has going on. And allow me to come on your platform. You know, you didn't have to do this. I'm not entitled to anything. I'm not entitled to your friendship or the love that you've been showing me. So I just want to let you know, from Rendezvous Automation, we absolutely appreciate you so much. and we're looking forward to what the future holds, man. So much, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I respect what you all are doing, y'all, and the way you're doing it, even more so, right? And I definitely, anytime I see that, man, I'm gonna try to plug in and make introduce you to my audience so they can get value. I know for a fact you guys aren't just in this for money, you know, respectfully. So I know there's not just a check for you, but I know you're really trying to help people with this. And I think people need to understand that it's available so they can at least make a decision. So yeah, man, let's do that. Let's plan for another one, maybe sometime next week. And we're going to really get into it. So let people I think their eyeballs going to be really like, oh.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to give out some serious sauce, man. We're talking about, the credit, the automation, how to tie the two together and all that stuff.
Man.
So next call is going to be fire. Make sure y'all look out for the flyer, man. Steve, I appreciate you once again, brother. Let's keep growing. Let's change some lives, man.
My guy. All right. Appreciate you, bro.